Hey everybody, it's Jay from Norman S. Wright. In last week's video, I talked about a silencer testing standard, so I thought this would be a good time to just talk about silencers. So let's do silencer basics and the basics of noise control. Let's get started. I've done videos on sound basics and sound power before, and I'll link them below, but let's do a short refresher on sound. Sound is measured in decibels. The decibel is measured against a frequency. The frequency of a sound is basically how many times it oscillates per second. Our ears perceive sound differently in different frequencies. For instance, we're more sensitive to high-frequency sounds than low-frequency sounds. There are an infinite number of frequencies, so we group them into octave bands. Let's scoot this up and make some room. For our industry, the octave bands are centered around increasingly wider frequency ranges starting at 63 Hz and then doubling from there. So octave band 1 is 63 Hz, octave band 2 is 125, 3 is 250, 4 is 500, 5 is 1000, 6 is 2000, 7 is 4000, and the 8th band is 8000 Hz. Octave bands 4 through 6 are the speech interference bands, or speech interference levels, because most human speech happens between 5,000 and 2,000 Hz. Having a sound be too loud in those bands makes it hard for people to hear each other, hence the name speech interference. Different HVAC products generate their highest sound levels in different octave bands. Fan boxes, for instance, have their highest sound levels in the 2nd and 3rd bands, while grills and diffusers create their highest sound levels in the 4th, 5th, or 6th bands. Noise control is basically about attenuating sound by absorbing or breaking up the sound waves before they get to the people in the space. The wavelength of the first octave band is about 18 feet long, the second band is about 9 feet, third is 4.5 feet, fourth is 2 feet, fifth is 1 foot, sixth is about half a foot, seventh about a quarter, and eighth is about 2 inches. Let me make a little bit more room. You can imagine that the shorter high-frequency wavelengths are usually easier to attenuate than the longer low-frequency ones. Now let's move this over to make room. There are also a couple different sound paths that may need to be addressed. First, there's radiated sound. This is the sound that the product itself is emitting from the components of the product through its casing. Next, you have discharge sound. This sound leaves the discharge of the product and travels down the ductwork. I'm showing this for VAV box, but it goes for other HVAC equipment as well. Then there's breakout noise, which is the sound that escapes from any sound source enclosing structure, such as ductwork, the metal casing, or even the building envelope. Silencers, sometimes called sound attenuators or sound traps, are used as part of an HVAC system to reduce the noise that would otherwise be transmitted into the nearest indoor or outdoor space. I'll cover different types of noise control products in future videos, but today I want to focus on duct silencers. The 3 most common types of duct silencers you'll see in HVAC systems are rectangular, elbow, and circular. So let's slide this up and talk about those. Rectangular silencers are the most common type of silencer. They have a simple design, relatively low cost, highest sound attenuation, and low pressure drop. They can be used up to 2,500 feet per minute. And they look something like this. You would have a casing on the outside with a perforated interface on the inside, and then the acoustic media would be between those 2 areas right here. Elbow silencers have similar properties to rectangular silencers, but they're good when you don't have room for straight duct. These should be used up to 1,500 feet per minute. They look like this, where the acoustic media would be on the sides here and here. Let's slide it up one more time to talk about circular. Circular silencers are used in round duct applications. The acoustic media surrounds the entire silencer, so they have good attenuation. They can also be used with higher velocities up to 8,000 feet per minute, and they look like this. So you can see the media is all around the outside, whereas in the 2 above, they were only on 2 sides. Now let's slide this over and talk about the types of media. There are several different options for the media inside the silencer: absorptive, film line, and packless. Absorptive silencers have a casing with a perforated interface on the inside that covers an acoustic media such as fiberglass, natural cotton fiber, or mineral wool. The silencers will have different internal geometries based on application. So you can have something like this, where this blue is the media, and this has a constant gap throughout the silencer. You can also have something like this that has a sloped tail arrangement, which allows for static regain and improved pressure drop. Let's slide it up one more time. You could also have something like this where it's sloped throughout, which minimizes the pressure drop that can occur at higher velocities. Let's slide it up again. Film line silencers have a casing and a perforated inner face, but inside there's a polymer liner plus an acoustic standoff between the film liner and the perforated metal that separates the acoustic media from the airstream, and it looks like this. So you have the standoff, the liner, and then the media. Film line silencers are used in application requiring contaminant-free environments and are hospital grade. And last we have packless silencers, which have the casing and perforated liner but no acoustic media. They'll look something like this. These are used in applications requiring contaminant-free environments. The lack of fibrous material eliminates the possibility of fibers entering the airstream and makes cleaning easy by eliminating absorptive material. So they're cleanable and hospital grade. So let's pull all of this back on screen. That's an overview of duct silencers. If you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover, leave a comment below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.